Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode in our live Liverpool series, we've got a game here against Brighton, who are 14th in the table. So obviously, as you can see in the left corner of the screen, I suppose, we're in 6th, not doing too badly, but we are 8 points away from Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea are the exception this season, the same way Manchester City were last season. But yeah, still disappointed to be so far away from them early on in the season. But since there's plenty of games to go, we've only played 6 of the 38 matches, so nothing to worry about just yet, but we will have to continuously climb the table and hope to damage Chelsea. And actually, we just want to see who they've played. So Reading, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Watford, Brighton and West Ham. So all teams that you'd expect them to beat, but they've done it in some convincing fashion, to be fair. Clean sheets in all the matches other than the one against Brighton, who we face today away from home in their stadium, American Express Community Stadium. That's depressing name for a stadium. But either way, we have a lot, well, not too much, but we have a decent amount of games to catch up on. Yeah, I mean, you can have a quick look at the player stats here. Lacazette supposed to be our top goal scorer because he is our striker, so it's good to see that. Last season, Mane was our top goal scorer, and he's an inside forward, so that's not too pleasing. It's nice to see, of course, but you want your striker to be the one who gets the main goals, and so far, Lacazette has done that for us this season. Henderson clearly profiting from a change in role, going from a DLP to a ball-winning midfielder. Seems to have suited him. He's doing really well. I'm really pleased with him, especially in the past few matches. Salah with the most assists, very similar to last season, and Naby Keita with the best pass completion rate. Best pass completion rate or percentage, whatever you want to really call it. So far the board are pleased with the season, yeah, I mean, it's just early stages trying to build it. There were a couple of matches we could have picked in this month of October. We've got Brighton, Leeds, Juventus' Champions League, so I won't really necessarily count that. Watford and Arsenal all come in October, and I felt like none of these matches are necessarily too important in terms of the Premier League ones, and so I thought it would maybe make sense to show you Brighton so we don't have too much going on in between each episode. So last episode was that loss against Arsenal, 4-3, crazy loss. And after that we managed to bounce back with a win against Southampton, 1-0 with Salah on the score sheet. Not the best performances, but we managed to scrape by and get 3 points, which is always important after losing in the last match. Sevilla was a more convincing one, 3-1, Salah scoring again, Kent on the score sheet again for his debut season, and Lacazette also making things comfortable for us. Luis Muriel trying to score in the 26th, well, he did score in the 26th minute, trying to make us uncomfortable there, but we managed to pull ahead in the second half of the game. Against West Ham, though, pushed back again. We lost in the Premier League, won in the Premier League, and then lost again in the Premier League, and it's our inconsistent start which has punished us so far. But you could respect some of the results we've had, and hopefully we just go on a nice little winning streak so we can turn the season around. But so far, not horrible, very early on, no need to panic. But yeah, Chicharito is the one who punished us all the way. 3 goals, a hat-trick for him, and saved West Ham single-handedly. Kent scored for us once more, Henderson on the score sheet as well, which is good to see in the 84th minute. Unfortunately, we couldn't get another goal to tie the game up for us, otherwise it would have been a decent result, all things considered. Against Sheffield Wednesday, though, we made sure we won, and won convincingly in the Carabao Cup 3rd round, which helps us advance to the 4th round, which you can see we've drawn against Arsenal here. And so we'll have to do well against them to advance into the next stages and hopefully reach the final like last year and even win it. Against Middlesbrough, though, an even more convincing win, 4-0. Nice to score a bunch of goals without reply. They've just been promoted this season, so we can't get too excited, but it's nice to see some players get on the score sheet. Mane in particular, Lallana as well, and Henderson again making his mark on that game. Sparta Prague, though, Champions League away match, you would never expect us to beat them by this much. We managed to do it again through Lacazette and Henderson being on the score sheet. Pablo coming off the bench and scoring, which is good to see in the 80th minute, and we managed to squeeze in an own goal there as well. So some decent results, and we just need to stop these inconsistencies. We've got a decent amount of greens here, but sometimes there's just some slipping. We just slip up at not good times to slip up, basically. Not a nice time where we're not being punished. We actually are being punished because Chelsea have won every single game they've had so far. United lost against West Brom, drew against Huddersfield, and West Brom are the team who we need to keep an eye on, even Stoke, to be honest, but it's still early on, of course. But yeah, Bournemouth were the side who were amongst the Champions League spots in the beginning of the season, and they only fell at the last hurdle, but they were doing quite well, and they were the ones who were of concern. But anyways, I think we can go ahead and kick off the match. There's only a tiny little update in terms of facilities. We're coming really close to it. It's in progress now. We're done with the planning stage, and it should be complete on the 4th of January next season. So we're coming up to it. It'll be nice to have the upgraded facilities so we can make use of having the best players and having the best youngsters coming through as well. I think we've pretty much, in terms of facilities, gotten the highest version, I suppose, of every facility as possible. So corporate is the one that might need some work, but that's not really too much concern for me. Data analysis facilities, corporate I don't have any control of, but data analysis, we've got state of the art, superb and excellent for the youth and training facilities, so those will be going up soon hopefully. And in terms of the junior coaching is exceptional, and youth recruitment is extensive, and I think that's as good as it gets in fairness. But yeah, I think we can go ahead and kick off. Brighton, not the toughest team to play against, but we will need the points to climb up further the table and get into the Champions League spot, which is exactly what makes this game important. We're away from home, and they'll be looking to making the mark on their season themselves. So it is a decently crucial game. So this is a team we we want to go ahead with, because the players are in good form. But unfortunately, I don't like playing anyone under the conditioning of 92%. I feel like it's a bit of a risk of injury. I know it's a bit, being a bit anal about it, but I do think since it's not such a huge game, I will give Jorginho and Salah the rest that they need and hope, because they have been playing several games one after the other. We'll just put them on the bench instead, so Chan can actually drop out for Naby Keita. Salah on the bench as well. Chamberlain will come on for him as a winger. So just one injury to our squad. Sadio Mane out for 5 to 10 days, not too long. Still unhappy, still trying to get rid of him, to be honest. He's on transfer list by request. PSG, Dortmund and Bayern all wanting to sign him. We've got the contract, we've got him until 2021, so no real worry in terms of losing him for free. But I do want to sell him off because he's unhappy, of course. I don't like to keep unhappy players, so the sooner we get rid of him, the better. He's not performing as good as he was last season. Of course, he hasn't played that many games, but early stages suggest that he's we don't want him influencing the rest of the squad, the dynamics and all that sort of business. But yeah, I think we can finally kick off and hopefully get another crucial 3 points in a month where I think we should be winning just about every game, other than the game against Juventus might be a bit tough. I'd love to show you that game, but I'm really not a fan of showing you any matches ahead of us meeting expectations. So the main focus for us has to be the league, has to be trying to win. That's the main point of this. Sorry about that. The main aim of the series is to actually win the Premier League and try and win it. And dominate the league, as in, so that's why we want to try and show you the Premier League as much as possible. If the aim was the Champions League, I'll definitely be showing you that. But anyways, so they're playing an interesting 4-4-1 formation, a bit of a more defensive formation than our one, a 4-2-3-1 with high wingers. They've just dropped their wingers deeper, helping them out in midfield, so we're going to need some nice performances from Keita and Henderson. Henderson in particular, the best average rating out of the starting 11 at the moment. Lacazette, like we mentioned, the best goal scorers, and we've finally got a back four that are decent enough. Wallace and Gomez, our first choice. Horn playing as good as ever in the season. Klein's back in the side after Trent kept him out of the match squad for quite some time. Chamberlain back in it as well. Lallana, Kent and Lacazette. Kent, of course, keeping his place because of his good form, but also because Mane is injured. Robertson gets the nod ahead of Alex as well, and the moment Alex starts to perform decently and can overtake Robertson, then that would be a good thing to see. But anyways, we can finally go ahead and give the team talk. Definitely favourites, so let's not leave any doubts out there. And let's hope that Lacazette and, well, really Henderson can keep their goal scoring form going. There's been a tiny tactical tweak. I've just moved the ball playing defender back on the right. I feel like it's worked a bit better. I have a tendency to switch the players constantly, but I feel like I'm finally going to settle on the right. It seems to make the most sense, and hopefully, we've been going on a winning run and winning convincingly since then, and so I thought, maybe it's a bit of superstition, but at the same time, I just want to keep things as is. Just put replays on. There you go. All right, so interesting team Brighton have. Ryan, of course, who everyone knows who he is. They've got some decent players, but they haven't necessarily built on them too much. Knockout's probably someone to keep an eye on. Gosling, They do have some decent players, but we will definitely have to perform better than we have so far. The past 25 minutes, we haven't had a single shot, nothing on target, and it looks like we're kind of sleeping in today's match. Finally, some of the stats moving in our favour. Decent amount of possession, though. Honestly, they probably had a decent start just because of their formation, and my players are just adjusting to that. Having said that, they're on the ball here, and Tomlin goes to march to me, and Gross on the ball for his team. Can we stop this attack? Not apparently. Knockout though. Thankfully, they can't make the most out of that chance. And that was a worrying moment. Getting in behind our fullbacks has always been an issue because of how high up they are on the pitch. So, if you're not going to defend well, at least you need to try and attack well. So far, Klein and Robertson haven't been doing that. And we've had as poor a first half as I think we've ever had all season long, letting Brighton dominate the game. And that is not good news at all. So I'm going to tell them, far from pleased. And if we can step it up in the second half, great. If not, we'll have to switch up the formation, because that might be an issue. The way Brighton are obviously taking advantage of certain spaces that we've left open, of course. Just want to go into attack. And I think we can go ahead, start and see where the attack can bring us. Well, help us attack more, basically. Anyways, Gomez to Klein. Can we score right after half time? Chamberlain also playing him as an inside forward when he's more comfortable as a winger. Forgot to make that change. It's my bad. He's also underperforming because of that. Doesn't suit our tactic too much. So the sooner we move Chamberlain to the left-hand side of the pitch, or just sell him all together, the better. Because you know, I don't want to constantly be making these changes. Brighton have only gotten better since we've made the attacking change, but we do have a set piece here, and Kaita delivers a good ball in. Lacazette on the turn, and it goes through, thankfully. And I think we can go back onto control, and I think I will make the change of formation because we haven't gotten any better. I don't know whether to go with the 4-2-3-1 with 2 DMs, or just drop in my... I think we'll match their formation and see if that helps us anymore. But yeah, good to see that we're scoring even when we're not performing well, because it's not all about... Okay, great. So I had replays on and it didn't... I forgot to do this. That's what I hate about this new replays option. You have to actually select which events you want to replay. Of course I want only goals to replay. It's a bit silly. But either way, 60th minute we can look to make some substitutions. And we're going to need to make some attacking ones to try and squeeze some more goals out of the game. Kent's tired. Lallana and Lacazette are the ones underperforming. We'll bring on Divock Origi, as well as Pablo here, the new signing. Both new players in truth to the side. And hopefully they will want to make an impact off the bench, especially Fornals. If he can do it the same way he did it in the last match, that'd be great. But Brighton are the ones who are on the ball. Can we win it back and set ourselves on the way? Henderson wins it back, but unfortunately the pass couldn't find Origi, and Brighton are going to try and score here. Really good ball out wide to Knockout. Plays a decent ball back, and we're punished. And that, it's not good to see. Even switching to a 4-4-1-1 hasn't really helped us perform any better. Brighton just more alive to it today than we are, I suppose. Good ball from Chester to find Knockout though, and then finds Gosling, and then he just continues his run, and neither Kent or Robertson are man marking him, and he just easily slides them back in, and he does a smart thing of cutting it back to March. But again, whoever's here, who's here? That's Chamberlain. This should be our right back. That's probably Klein, but yeah, just let his man go past him, and that's all it takes. A couple of errors and you're done. Either way, still a bit of time to actually try and turn this game around. So hopefully we can do that, and maybe through here, Origi's through, taken out by Dunk. And suddenly, Brighton are down to 10 men. The question is, can we break them down? Because they're definitely going to go on the defensive and try and squeeze out a point. But we need all three. Delivery from Pablo. Disappointing. Klein on the ball though for our team. So can he do any better? Probably going to take a long range shot. Yeah, as expected. Complete wing back. He's given all the freedom in the world. And maybe a bit too much freedom. Alright, we've got one more substitution we can make. Let's see if we can do anything significant. Henderson a bit tired. We've got Chance out of the squad entirely. Kent can bring on Salah. Move Chamberlain out left. And maybe that can help us a bit. I might have to go into the 4-2-3-1 to take advantage. we seem to be doing okay with the 4-4-1-1. Maybe we can score through this chance here. Robertson with the delivery. Gomez rises. But Ryan is alive to it, and that's our first clear-cut chance of the game, and we should have done better there. Smith, though, lobs it forward. Thankfully, no one's really there to collect, and Salah can try and get us the second goal that we desperately need. Man marked by March, though, but not too well. Origi rises just over the bar, and we just have to keep up the pressure. I think Brighton will crack. Alright, the clock is ticking rather down a bit too much for my liking. We need to change something. Let's go to overload, take more risks. Will that help us? Do we have to change formations entirely? Do we have to push our wingers back frontwards? Didn't do too well the last time that happened. Come on, we can't go with a point. Alright, that's it. 5 minutes out of the time. Let's go back. Alright. And overload. Take more risks. Come on, boys. Nothing? Okay, there you go. Hopefully it's in our favour though, because Brighton are the ones in the ball. 5 minutes to go. We can't afford to concede now and lose to a Brighton side with 10 men. That would be disappointing, but they are looking dangerous here. Is that the game, or is it just me? Gross. Just have to win it up high up the pitch. No one really pressing there. Chamberlain coming out to actually try, but Knockout's on the ball for his team again. Is he going to punish us once more? Goes back to Gosling. Brighton taking their time with it here, and it looks like Knockout might actually be able to deliver into the box. Can we get our players? No, we can't. Joshua free. Stupid touch. Salah on the ball. Lobs it forward to Origi. Now, can we punch them on the counter-attack? It's 1 versus 5 basically at this point. Not smart with it, but Salah's there again. He's going to take a stupid long-range shot, isn't he? No, it's a good ball to Chamberlain. And it comes off the post, and that is our second clear-cut chance of the game. And we are punishing ourselves for our lack of finishing. Still with the corner though. Keita with the delivery, as disappointing as it could have been. But Robertson can pick up the pieces if he can just keep up the pressure, but apparently not. That's the end of that. And the game looks like it will end a draw against the Brighton side, who were playing with 10 men and outplayed us for a large chunk of the game. To be fair to them, they do deserve something, but we've shot ourselves in the foot with not being able to finish our chances. Henderson to Chamberlain, but should be over. Keita tries to find Robertson, and may have done the wrong thing by dropping Jorginho and Salah to the bench, apparently. Either way, Brighton come out with a single point, and things couldn't really have been going worse. And I think, like it says there in the match analysis, I suppose, the Liverpool manager must be wondering how we didn't win it, and that's exactly what. Anyways, need to sell our players off. Not happy with that. We should be winning this type of game. We said that all the games in October are winnable, but Brighton here proving to us that football doesn't always go the way you plan. In a game we desperately needed Lacazette to step up in, it was quite disappointing, and the same can be said about Lallana. But anyways, I think that's kind of it for today's episode. I mean, we can have a quick look at when we'll return. There's a couple of games here in October we'll be playing. Hopefully we make it into the next round like we mentioned. But November's the month we'll be back in, and there's a couple of them here. There's West Brom, Juventus, Bournemouth, Huddersfield. Very interesting games. Sevilla, of course, as well. But out of the 3 Premier League games, the likelihood is we'll be back against West Brom, since they are currently in the Champions League spot. By the time we reach this match, West Brom or somewhere else, and maybe we'll play against Bournemouth instead. But anyways, I think that's all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then of course, please do hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2018 content. And of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, guys, once again, thank you all very much for watching.